first level of knees over toes strengthening is 10 minutes of backwards walking. This is an optional warm-up before Knee Ability Zero sessions. Backward walking alone has been proven to be an effective screening process for falling in elderly. Falling is one of the leading causes of emergency room visits and even deaths in elderly. Now, of course, all this stuff would be easier to build before all the problems start, before we get old. But my mom didn't start this stuff till her 60s, and she can now run backward like a gazelle. She's been able to do, with this as the foundation, every ingredient thereafter in the ATG system with success and pain-free at her level. And for me, this is the concept that got me out of my chronic nightmare of pains, 3 surgical alterations to this side, and more diagnosed tears I didn't operate on the right. Now in my case, I want to be able to play basketball. That's more load than just walking, going up and down steps, things that an older person might do. So with a sled, I spend my 10 minutes dragging weight backwards. Now, how much weight to use? Well, it's really simple. Notice when you walk backwards, you'll find a natural, comfortable amount of knees over toes. So if you go so heavy that now your steps can't get that natural knee over toe, then you know the weight was too much. And different sleds vary in weight, different grasses and surfaces on turf vary in friction. So there is no exact measurement compared to anyone else. This is a personal thing. Later, every other step is precisely measurable, except this one because of the variance. If every gym had the same turf and the same sled, then we could find an exact measurable. But without that being the case, we can't. What if there's no good weather outside? What if your gym doesn't have a sled and turf? Well, then it can be helpful to know that getting on a treadmill, not turning it on, aka dead mill, and using your backwards strength, well, that can add some load to your backward walking and create a similar burn as a sled. Now, in either case of the sled or the dead mill, the 10 minutes, again, is a personal thing. You could go at one constant speed. You could go faster and take breaks if you want. I would still just set a single 10-minute timer and do your work within that. And don't even worry if you don't have a sled, if you don't have weather, if you don't have a treadmill, if you have none of this, because all of this is still just an optional warm-up step. And in fact, the very next step gives us everything and more that this gives us. And for that reason, I no longer even have to do this. I don't do this in my workouts anymore because I don't even need to do a warm-up for my workouts anymore, because the later steps have now bulletproofed me beyond what I even thought was possible. But it is absolutely worth knowing, and this absolutely did help me get out of pain in the first place. See you tomorrow with the next step.